Hold me under these trying times. Hey, that nigga Drake did not miss with that one. Let me pull up my NBA stats. We can't be talking out of our ass. We're gonna talk about the Lakers first. Because after all, that's what this series is about. The Lake Show. Oh shit, we play the Clippers on Wednesday. We'll see, but nah. Who do we play? Utah. And got the brakes beat off of us. Surprise, surprise, we didn't play as bad with Russ. And no LeBron. Surprise, surprise. Let's get this video started. Let me stop ad-libbing. What is good, everybody? It's your boy TB. And I'm back with another, I guess you would say, Uncut Opinions, but this is a special edition because today is election day, so as you all know, we don't have any NBA games today, but last night, every NBA team in the league played. There were 15 games. I was not able to watch every single one of them. Don't know who is. NBA has to come up with a better format for that, but we'll talk about that on another day. Going along with the Lakers being the main focal point of the series, of course, they're going to be covered on here, but I'm also going to cover a couple of other games that I watched as well, which was the Kings Warriors, Nets Mavericks, Celtics Grizzlies, and the Cavs and Clippers. And we're pretty much gonna do the same kind of breakdown we do with the Lakers, not as extensive, but some things that I saw with certain players and things of that nature. Don't forget, if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. If you're not new, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. What was the game that you watched yesterday that stuck out to you the most? And comment below who you think surprised you, what game surprised you, whatever, because there were definitely some upsets and matchups that were very good that I didn't expect out of yesterday. But let's get into the video. So obviously I have to start off with the Lakers, and the reason I'm starting off with them is because if I didn't, this would probably turn into a long, drawn-out dissertation, and we don't want that. But the surprise team of the year so far, the Utah Jazz, which is the #1 team in the West right now, they swept the floor with us. And at this point, we should be looking at the Lakers as teams that need to tank for Victor Wembanyama as opposed to the Jazz being that team, because coming into the year, the Jazz was the team that everyone was talking about, and even up until this point are still saying, you guys should start tanking. I don't know what you're doing right now, but I don't know if Danny Ainge had this planned or not, but regardless of anything else, they're winning and it's working. Now, I remember in last night's telecast when I was watching, I believe it was the Lakers sportscasters or whatever, because it wasn't a nationally televised game. I believe it was them, but they specifically said, you know, Utah Jazz might have the formula for the future. We might be getting away from having the few stars on the team and then putting guys around them, where we're coming into a quote unquote new age of basketball where you just get a bunch of do-it-all guys, not one star, to where they all come together and make it happen. Because if you look at Utah Jazz specifically last night, the point spread was literally spread across everybody. You had 10 from Kelly Olynyk, 23 from Lauri Markkanen, 14 from Mike Conley, 22 from Jordan Clarkson, 14 from Malik Beasley. Colin Sexton gave you 17 off the bench. THT had the game of his life and had 15 off the bench. Rudy Gay had 8. Walker Kessler had 8. Like, there's guys scoring that have no business scoring. And the one thing the Lakers could hang their hat on early in the year, which was defense, they couldn't do that last night. Now, last night LeBron was out of the lineup, and surprise, surprise, the team is just as bad with LeBron out of the lineup as they are with him in the lineup. So it goes to show it's not Russell Westbrook's fault, because Russell Westbrook played a healthy 24 minutes, and I'd argue he had the best game other than Anthony Davis, having 22 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Now, it sucks because I watch Undisputed here and there. We all know they talk about the same couple teams, Lakers, Cowboys, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, sometimes Patrick Mahomes. Y'all already know, but they were talking about the Lakers in this sense, and they were just shitting on Russell Westbrook. And had I not watched the game last night, I would have thought Russell Westbrook played horribly. Of course, he had a minus 23 plus minus. That came from his fouls. He had foul trouble with 5 fouls where he's putting people to the line, but he only had 2 turnovers, which wasn't leading the team, and he had a healthy 8 for 14 from the field. He wasn't just shooting the ball crazy. He was even 2 for 3 from 3. But if you go watch Undisputed, you would think Russell Westbrook just played this horrible game. So the media right now is disgusting. That's the best way to put it with regards to that. I'm at the point where the Lakers need to seriously consider trading Anthony Davis and LeBron James, or one or the other. It's at a point where both of those guys don't seem like basketball is #1 on their mind right now. And as a person that's a Lakers fan first and foremost, get them out of here, because at this point, Russell Westbrook has played the hardest of any player on this team. And that's not me going off of speculation. That's going off of what I see. Russell Westbrook has been busting his ass all year thus far. And he seems like the only guy that's really has that fire lit under his ass, and he's the only one that cares. Now, if you want to go on the other side of that blame, we gotta Rob Pelinka. We gotta look at him, because the guys they put around Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and I'd say Russell Westbrook, because he's playing to that level at this point. The guys he put around them, it just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. People like to say this is what LeBron wanted around him, but it's hard for me to imagine that LeBron wanted all these young guys, unproven guys that can't really shoot on this team. That doesn't quite register with me pretty well. I don't know where to go with that, but I'm at the point where the Lakers need to seriously consider trading these two dudes while they can, get some young guys, and start to try to turn it around and make another run to where once it gets to the offseason, even if we didn't win or anything, you have guys that want to come into a Lakers jersey. You have some stars that are going to be more willing to be a Laker because they have young players that are actually good, because they traded for them when they traded Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Now, if you do that, there will be more guys that are willing to come join the team, because the guys that are there now, though they're young, they're not that good. So the Lakers really have some thinking to do. I know we're only 10 games in, but it's ugly so far in these 10 games. And again, like I said, if I didn't watch the game and I just watched different, talk shows, I didn't look at First Take, but Undisputed specifically, I would have thought Russell Westbrook played horribly, and he didn't. He actually played far from that. Now, the next game, and I'm not going chronologically, I'm just going in terms of the games that I remember, the Kings and Warriors. Now, this game was pretty controversial, because at the end of the game, Kevin Huerter had a chance to hit a three. He did get fouled by Klay Thompson. It's shown on the screen right now. And as someone who was a shooter, or once you're a shooter, you're always a shooter, but y'all know what I mean. As someone that shot the ball with efficiency in basketball, that small hand on the hip that Klay Thompson has on Kevin Huerter, that does affect you, and it is a foul at the end of the day. No matter how small you want to say it was or whatever, that's a foul. The ironic part about it is they lost by 3. I'm not really worried about the Kings in this aspect. I'm worried about the Warriors. Though the Warriors won, most of their vets played upwards of 35 minutes. Draymond had 36 minutes, Wiggins had 40, Steph with 38, Klay with 38. That is a lot of minutes for your vets. That tells me you can't trust your young guys, 1, and 2, there's something going on there that they need to figure out. Even Steve Kerr came out and said that's not sustainable. It's an 82 game season. You can't play those guys that many minutes. However, Stephen Curry went and almost got them a 50 piece, shooting 17 for 24 and 7 from 12 from 3. We know Steph is the greatest shooter ever, and he almost got a triple-double. He had 47, 8, and 8. That's crazy. Steph went crazy. I'm proud of him. Keep going crazy, Steph. We got the same name, bro. You got put on for the Steph legacy. Essentially, the Kings probably should have at least had a second shot at this game going into OT, but regardless of anything else, the Warriors, they look, I don't know, the West is wide open right now, strictly because the Warriors aren't the same Warriors we've been watching the last couple years. The next game I wanted to talk about was the Celtics and Grizzlies game. Now, to start the game, Jason Tatum was cooking the Grizzlies. I mean, cooking them. I think he had 17 in the first quarter or something like that, but he was going crazy. He started to slow down come after halftime in the third quarter. The bench of the Celtics, though, a thing that they kind of prided themselves on the last year and a half or so, them having their depth and stuff of that nature, they didn't really have that this game, so that was pretty alarming. The bench only accounted for, less than 20 points, so it's one of those things where that's troubling for that team specifically, because their bench depth was something that was they pride themselves on with regards to the Eastern Conference, and that was just lacking in its totality. Another thing that's always surprising to me and shocking how players can do, but Grant Williams went literally a whole basketball game without shooting a single shot. He scored 2 points because he got 2 free throws, but he literally did not take a shot attempt, and he played 38 minutes. But that goes to show the firepower that the Celtics do have with Jason Tatum, who almost got them a 40 piece. Marcus Smart had a pretty good game. I would say this game was Marcus Smart's best game up until this point at this season. He had 15 and 12, so he did do pretty well. Jaylen Brown had a cool 21, but Jaylen Brown was inefficient. We're still looking for him to get on that consistency train so he can stop being inefficient. Some games he's playing lights out, hits every shot, and then there's other games where it seems like he's forcing it and he can't really buy a bucket, but somehow he comes out at the end of the game with at least 20 points because he shot 20 shots. Now the Grizzlies, they still look like the John Morant show, but I'm gonna say this, Dillon Brooks stinks at basketball. He freaking sucks. There was a stretch in the game, and I gotta find it somewhere. There was a stretch where it was like 3 to 5 possessions, something around that nature, where he missed a 3, fouled, turned the ball over, missed another 3, then he airballed a 3. Bro even fouled out of the game. Bro, Dillon Brooks literally is out there to hurt players. The way they label Draymond is literally who Dillon Brooks is. Like, Dillon Brooks looks like a light skin without good hygiene, which is crazy in itself, because how you light skin and you look like Marcus Smart, that's crazy. But in any case, overarching point, Dillon Brooks sucks at basketball. Now I'm gonna save the best game for last. Well, I wouldn't call it the best game, but I have the most to say about the game. But the next game was the Clippers and Cavaliers. The Cavs low-key fumbled this game because they were up in the latter stages of the game. However, the Clippers, they played the free throw game and hit a couple shots down the stretch that saw them winning this game by 2 points. But Donovan Mitchell did go get them a 30-piece, 10 for 15 shooting, so he was efficient. Evan Mobley was also efficient, shooting 12 for 18 with 26 points last night. And Jarrett Allen with a 10 and 20 point game. He had 20 boards, 4 of them on the offensive side. So their starters played very well. Their bench didn't get much production. The only person on the bench that played well was Kevin Love with 17 points. The next high was Dean Wade with 6 points. So they didn't really get much production out of their bench. Granted, Cedi Osman only played 3 minutes. Can't do much in that time. So I can't really fault him for only having 2 points in those 3 minutes, but everyone else played at least 15 minutes. So they could have did a little bit more on the floor. Now the Clippers, PG is looking like young season PG as always. And we all know Kawhi was out this game. Kawhi is a part-time hooper at this point. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. We don't even know what injury he has right now, but he's a part-time hooper at this point. We saw all these workout photos and workout videos. People were calling him Kathai and all these other things. And he's played what, 2 games? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Are we here to hoop, or are we here to just hoop when we feel like it or when it matters? Because those are 2 different things. And to me, it's getting to a point where this is gonna hurt his legacy. And the reason I say that is because a major component of LeBron's legacy is his longevity and his availability. Kawhi Leonard, though he shows up when it matters most, he's not there consistently. And that's a problem to me as the basketball fan. And I'm sure it's a problem for Clipper Nation as well, especially because they're the other side of LA. And if I know LA, I know they have some of the most diehard fans, regardless if it's Clippers or Lakers Nation. So Kawhi and the Clippers need to get their act together. I understand preserving his body, but you cannot, build this test of endurance for your body without playing basketball. You can't. It's literally impossible. You can sit out, you can rest, you can work out, you could do all these things, but you cannot put your body to the test and have your body at the point where it's ready to compete, especially come playoff time, if you haven't put the reps in. It's the same thing for football. Football might be a little bit worse because it's contact, but basketball is some of the same thing because you're cutting, your lateral movement. There's different things and nuances in basketball that when you're out and you're not in an actual game setting, it affects you and it hinders you with regards to your play. Now, Kawhi is a world-class athlete, so I don't know if that'll happen. However, it is something that it's on the table. Now, the last game, and the reason I have so much to talk about this game is because I didn't come out with a Steve Nash video when he got fired, and I probably should have done that, but I believe I was still out of town. I'm not sure, but regardless of that fact, this team is going, it's literally a sunken ship. You got Kyrie, he's probably not coming back. The net, he's already apologized, and I'm not gonna dwell on this too long because I do have my own kind of thoughts about it, but I'm not gonna go into that. Kawhi has apologized, but the Nets added a bevy and a list of things for him to do to accompany that apology. Above all else, I think that's kind of demeaning to him, especially as a man. It's kind of like you want to be a pro-thinking kind of person. Well, now we control this for you, so you have to do this. And it's starting to get to a point where the Nets are starting to conflict with his own morals, and I don't think it should ever get to that. But besides that, you got KD trying his heart out. He had 26 last night. He missed a clutch free throw that would have helped them to tie the game. But that's neither here nor there. He did play pretty well. But Luka, that boy Luka is different. I already had him as my early season MVP. I still have him as my MVP. I just need the Dallas Mavericks to keep playing the way they're playing, because the only hang up with him getting MVP and the only reason I saw he may or may not get MVP would strictly be because the Mavericks are not top 5 in the West. I don't think they'll fall below top 5, but if they're not top 3, it's gonna be hard for him to get MVP regardless. But he had a smooth 36. Literally only 2 other people in the starting lineup scored for them. This game was low scoring, like extremely low scoring. I don't know if shots weren't falling or if it was defense, or it could have been a combination of both. But regardless, it was a very low scoring game. It was a game that reminded me of an early 2000s Lakers game where the game ended in 96-92 or something like that. This game was only 96-94, and this game had 2 of the top scorers in the NBA. So that's crazy to think about, but I will say this game did seem like a battle from start to finish. It had a playoff atmosphere type of game. Kevin Durant was talking his shit like he normally does. Even Royce O'Neal was chirping at the Mavericks a couple times. Dorian Finney-Smith, all of those guys were chirping with each other. So it did feel like a playoff atmosphere along with playoff basketball. So that was cool to see. But regardless of anything else, the Nets are on a fast sinking ship, and it's gonna get ugly, because I think as soon as they get even more closer to the trade deadline, Kevin Durant is gonna request a trade one more time. He's gonna be at the point where he's gonna say, you know, I tried. There's more uncertainty going on with Kyrie. There's nobody else around him to help him. Ben Simmons is playing like dog shit. He just got sat on his ass by Luka, and he only had, I believe, 2 points last night with a -7 plus minus. So Kevin Durant is probably gonna ask out sooner than later. I don't know where he's gonna go or where he's gonna ask to go. If it's me and I'm the Lakers, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I might explore it, see what I could do to reunite KD and Russ. That sounds crazy now I'm saying it out loud, but anything's possible. And that's all I got for you guys in this video. Is your boy TB. As always, go ahead and subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, go ahead and hit that like button. And again, let me know which games, what player, what storyline, whatever you want basketball related stuck out to you in the comments below. And until next time, I'm out.